Welcome back to the 11th episode of Inside the Huddle, the show where we take you beyond the game and inside the lives of Alcorn State's finest student athletes. I'm your host, Franklin Rogers, and each episode we'll get up close and personal, talking sports, struggles, and the stories that make our athletes who they are both on and off the field. Thank you for joining me today.
You're welcome. I'm Aisha Rollins. I'm a junior here at Alcorn. I'm from England, and I play on the women's soccer team.
Women's soccer. So we have yet another out-of-state, our third international student on between all the 11 shows we've done so far. I guess just kind of going into it, because it is so rare to find international students, especially here. What is the what's the move like from where you come from to here? Not only America, but possibly just this part of the country as well.
I would say it's very different.
Yeah.
The culture is very different. But I think it's a great place to thrive and learn new things about.
Go to school. Yeah. So I guess off the jump, tell me what's the biggest between weather, food, sports, culture. Like, what are when you first came here? And obviously, we were talking before the show. This isn't your first time coming to America. Being a sports student at Alcorn isn't your first time in the States. Tell me a little more about that.
So I originally came. I flew into Missouri, went to a JUCO there called Middle Area College. And yeah, when I first came, it was definitely a big culture shock because how we do things over there, I would say, is very different to here. Yeah. So it's definitely something to adapt to. Food, very different. Like beans on toast. Food's very different, but still.
Beans on toast is unheard of here. I think I was giving you some crap about that 20 minutes ago, and I'm like, what's the obsession with people from Europe and beans on toast?
It's just it's great.
So you think it's good?
I think it's amazing. We should try it.
If I ever go to Europe, I definitely will. What was your decision to move to America and then eventually end up here at Alcorn from Great Britain? How does just the recruiting aspect work? How do these schools that are trying to not only recruit, I guess, girls from the States, but really girls from all across the world, how do they just find you out of all the people in all of Europe, all the countries in the world?
So I'm with an agency called Starbridge Sports, and basically what they do is they help to recruit athletes from the UK, mainly for scholarships here in America. And they do tours and stuff, so I had previously, before I made the decision to move here, I came on a tour to Florida for a week where we got to play, kind of get the experience before coming here. So I got to do that with them and then decided that's what I wanted to do with the rest of
And this was in high school, so coming up in academy?
In your terms, yeah, but we would say after college.
Okay, so how does it work with transcripts? I mean, do you have to be eligible and pass all your classes, have a diploma to come to America and be a collegiate athlete?
They make you do a test when you get here, and they transfer whatever studies you had before over to here. So I had attended Loughborough Sports College in the UK 2 years before I came here.
Oh wow! Okay.
So yeah, I've taken a gap year, so that's why I'm kind of older.
Right. So how old are you?
22.
So you're probably I'm 22. I graduated this semester, so you're probably a year ahead. That's not, and this is kind of along the lines. It was, I think, my third or fourth show. We had Tommy and Taylor. They were pairs of male and female tennis players. Mm-hmm. One of them was from Australia. The other was actually from Britain as well. Mm-hmm. And they kind of talked about the experiences of the recruiting, coming over. Do grades translate? Does all the things with having to get are the student visas? I mean the hoops you have to jump through are a little bit more extensive, more paperwork just to get to this point. Mm-hmm. What was your first impression of the United States when you arrived? What were some things, fresh off the plane, you were like, oh wow, this is a little different?
Everything's bigger. Everything's big. Food portions, stores, everything's bigger. And I remember when I first came here, seeing it felt like a new world. Almost very, very different. But almost like the movies.
Yeah, so it's, obviously, you do speak English just with an accent, so thankfully there isn't a language barrier. I think that would have been a lot harder having to come over here. Talk about the food portions. I know that's, we joke about it, and it makes me think of, there's this TV show with a guy who does a study. I think it's like called Super Size Me or Super, and it's a doctor who eats McDonald's every single day, 3 meals a day for like a month, and he talks about the portion sizes in America. And but you're not the only person, the only foreign student to say that. What is it about? You think it's just the South? You think it's just food that people just love to eat? Like, what is it about here?
I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
It's just like the food portions are just way.
Do you think it has to do with more of a community thing? Do you think meals are kept over family sporting events? Because last Sunday we had practice and we saw the whole soccer team. Y'all were outside by the tennis courts having a barbecue. So
Yeah. I would say, especially when it comes to like big restaurants with the catering and stuff,
yeah,
naturally things are just bigger size. I'm not sure. Drink sizes, like I think maybe your medium would be like a large for us.
some of the differences. So it's like food is the one major thing that you notice just off the jump.
Yes, for sure.
For sure. So how do you adjust to the new environment, Mississippi? Obviously, coming from Europe to Missouri, and then Missouri to Mississippi, you know, all three places are kind of different in their own ways. Were there any, you know, speed bumps that you had to do, or that you experienced getting to Mississippi, or now that you're from Mississippi, you're like, wait, this is different than Missouri?
The two are very different, I would say. Even the school I went to in Missouri wasn't like in a big city, in a big town. There wasn't much around. But it's definitely more isolated here, I'd say. Like, to get to places like Walmart is 45
Yeah, it's a minute.
away.
And what town were you in Missouri?
Farmington.
I've never been to Missouri, so I'm not sure.
Right, so it's definitely a bigger area than here.
But Walmart was closer, right?
Walmart was good, yes.
I got you. How does life here in, we'll say not Mississippi, we'll say the South. You know, America is huge, and I think I had this conversation with Tommy on my last show, and he was like, Texas is bigger than like half Europe, and that's just one state.
Yes.
How does, you know, this new environment, you know, just in the South, you know, you take Louisiana, Alabama, kind of all these states that are bunched up, you know, and you've traveled a couple states throughout the South as well, and your last, you know, you were in Houston last weekend, 2 weekends ago for the tournament, you know, you traveled a couple different places and seen, you know, a couple different things in terms of just lifestyle. How do you think people go about their lives differently as far on a day-to-day basis, whether it's job, school, education, or just sports?
I think it's kind of crazy to me personally that you can go travel so many hours and end up in a whole other state and everything.
Or still be in the same state.
Or still be in the same, yeah, that's true. So, but to us, like an 8-hour drive would take you almost from one end to the other. So
Wow.
it's like the size difference in comparison, you start to see it because in the different states, you can like from here compared to here to Texas, two very different places.
Of course, yeah.
And obviously we went to the city as well, so it's nice to see like how city life is different over here compared to back home.
I guess, you know, kind of coming off of traveling and transportation, how is the public transportation system different where you're from? Because here, like, everyone has a car, everyone's kind of driving their places, but opposed to specifically living in the city where you're from, not like people just trains, bikes.
We're very heavy on the buses and the trains.
Yeah.
So if you know about London, the London Underground is one of the biggest one of the biggest ways to travel around London because it can get you from like one side of London to the other.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Most people have cars, but you definitely see a lot more people walking, I would say, over there than I do here. I don't know if that's just convenience or.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you miss? What do you miss from home that you haven't found here in the United States?
A real cup of tea.
And by tea, you mean tea or coffee? Like tea.
Yeah, British tea.
British tea.
Yeah, and chocolate. There's a lot.
Chocolate. You don't think chocolate tastes as you think it's?
It definitely tastes different.
Huh.
Like,
I didn't know that. No one said that before. Okay.
Yeah, most countries have different chocolate. I don't know.
Cup of
I love
tea.
my chocolate, so.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, tea and chocolate. Huh. So how does the soccer, the culture of the sport, how is it opposed to Europe, you know, from America, other aspects of the sport that you find different in terms of playing style or how it's perceived?
Yes, for sure. Definitely how it's perceived.
Because it's huge where you're from. I know it's huge in Europe. Yeah.
Huge in Europe, huge in most countries other than America, it seems. It's still big here, like the MLS and everything.
I mean, I watched the World Cup. I watched the Olympics. We're
not.
we're not making it to the quarterfinals every year of the World Cup. Unfortunately, not. Like
It's not quite the same. So there's like at home, if you're what we would call football.
Yep.
A football player, that's like what everybody wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whereas here, it's not. I feel like it's not maybe appreciated as much, or it's just not. It's not the top sport in America. Yeah. So that's definitely like one of the biggest differences. Styles of play, I would say, is different. Coaching is different. Like it's culture. So
yeah, do you think it's just a culture thing?
Yes, and
people just want it more.
Yeah, I feel like it's very fitness based here. I'm not sure how to
elaborate on that. Yeah.
So they focus a lot more over here on physical fitness and like preparing your body to play the sport more than I would say they do at home. At home, I feel like it's definitely more technical. We do strength and conditioning,
right? Of course.
Of course, we stay fit, but I feel like the main focus in the UK is more technical than it is physical.
Juggling, ball skills,
stuff like that, and just understanding the game.
Okay, that's actually a great response because I don't think I've ever heard anyone put it that way. I've had my fair share of conversations with the guys from Europe and asking about, hey, like, what is it like going to a Premier League soccer game opposed to the NFL games I've been to? Because in America, most of the professional athletes that we look up to are NFL players. Like that's just a big thing. But in here, in Europe. Europe is just soccer. Like the culture is just huge. Yeah. How do your teammates from the United States do soccer? I mean, obviously, new sport. I mean, new school, new team. You're kind of half the team hasn't played with each other this year. Despite the success that you did have, which congratulations, by the way. How do you mesh with your American teammates?
You can tell that they're definitely more, I'd say, comfortable when it comes to it because we have a lot of international players. Like I'm one of many, almost half the team is international. I think we maybe only have 4 or 5 Americans. So, but they help with the adjustment to the sport because of how completely different it is. So there'll be some things that some of us don't quite understand, and the Americans help with that. But no, I think they're enjoying themselves, and they're learning about other people too, because there's so many cultures to them that they've never really interacted with. So I think it's great for both parties.
Well, I've got one last question, kind of to cap things off. What do you think the United States can learn from the European soccer culture and vice versa?
That's a good question.
In shorter words, what is one thing that, because I think that y'all got us topped in this sport for sure.
One thing I think we could learn or change in the game is really just understanding it more. Like in the SWAC tournament, we're playing a game back to back, like one day and then the next day, when that's not really realistic for soccer with how much we run.
Wow.
So I would say I would consider
no double headers in Europe.
No double headers in Europe. No. The one thing we could learn from the Americans is getting fitter.
Yeah.
Taking care of our bodies more.
I get that. I appreciate that. Well, we're out of time, but I appreciate you for coming on the show. Thank you for taking the time out of your day. I know we're all super busy with practice and meetings and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, and congratulations on a successful season, and we hope to catch you next year. Guys, this is Franklin Rogers. I'm your host, Inside the Huddle, and this concludes episode 11. We'll see y'all next time.